back. My girl is back. My girl is back, and she's back with a life update. Yes, guys, I've been gone for quite some time, but now I'm back. Well, I'm trying to find my way again. But I am back with a life update, and this one mainly is titled healing as a process. If you have listened to my video of finding healing, then you would understand my journey with healing. And recently I have went through a process of losing a loved one, and which then made me to take a step back on my journey on healing, because I do feel like with each and every single loss that you go through, particularly death, and losing a person that is very dear to you, it takes you a step back. You think you have healed, you think you are finding your way, and you know it all, but with each fall, you take a step back. It's like you just go like 10 times, 1,000 steps back, because you try, you are confused, you do not know what to do, you do not know what to do with yourself, because at some point you do feel like, you can never be used to death. Just that's one thing I'm going to tell you. You can never be used to death. You can never be used at use the same coping mechanisms that you did with a particular death to the same one. To the next one that you go through. Every process, every loss requires you to go into it differently, and it requires you to adapt, and it requires you to seek the face of God, and it also requires you to push yourself, If you had listened to I'll keep on referencing to the first video, I'll just name it the first episode, you realize that with that one I said I was quite numb, that it took me quite a long time for me to process what was going on in my life, to process that I've actually lost, somebody very dear to me. But with this one too, which was very different and very unique for me, was that it made me to be in the moment, to cry harder, to go through the emotions, to feel the pain, to not numb myself, I didn't really numb myself, but to not be numb, but to actually feel the pain, the hurt, feel like your heart is just your chest is being ripped off, and if I were to talk about this 3 weeks before, it wouldn't have been a video like this. I wouldn't have been speaking like this, but now, like with time, you get to adjust to the situation. I will not say with time you get to heal better, but you get to adjust. Because even with time, most of the time you find that you withhold your healing, because you are out here looking at the wound, because you are out here taking yourself step back into actually healing, But with this one in specific, it had to push me to understand. It had to push me to then ask God, Lord, why? And then to isolate, to isolate. The best thing is we're already in isolation. Well, I'm not really in isolation because I'm back at work and everything, but to just step away from social media, to just step away from people, to just be in my own zone and understand my thoughts, understand what is happening in my heart, understand what is causing the anxiety, what is causing the anxieties. Why can't I not sleep? Why am I feeling like this? Because sometimes it happens that you then redirect your pain to something else. It can be something negative. Yes, it can be something positive. But now you need to be careful in how are you directing, in how or which way are you directing your pain. And for me, I'm that one person that when I'm going through the most, I just like being busy, so that I don't think about what is happening. But this one, it faced me to not be busy. It forced me, sorry, to not be busy, to actually look at what is happening in my life and to deal with it, you know, like God was like, deal with it. It's you and me, and this is the situation, deal with it, you know. So with healing, becoming a process is a process, and you need to understand that it is a process. You can't run away from it. You can stop now and say, you know, be busy with your life and push everything aside and push it, and you know, and just not think about things. But later on it will come back to bite you, because with everything that happens in your life, you will always reference to the first incident, because you have not healed, you know. And it will be difficult for you to, you know, to deal with things as they come, because why? Because you haven't healed. So if then something is to happen, just a small thing happens to you, it will be a big thing, because you haven't dealt with all the other packages that you have left behind. And unfortunately, you have to deal with things so that you protect your heart, you protect your mind, you protect the person that you become, because it tends to happen that our experiences shift us and move us to becoming people that we are not. In this process, I really found myself diverting from myself. I felt like I did not know who I am. I felt like I did not know who I was. I felt like, because now I was responding differently, you know, so it made me question. Because even my normal, because we all have those coping mechanisms. If you feel like, okay, not a cope better with singing or whatnot, but sometimes it will happen that those normal things that you felt like you were using them as your coping mechanism do not work on this situation, and you have to figure it out. What will then help me? And I found myself in that position, and I was very overwhelmed, because you get to a point where you really think you know yourself, but you actually do not know yourself. And the only person that knows you better than you actually think you know yourself is God. And you need to seek God, and you need to, you know, and to go to God and ask God. You need to go to God and speak to God. You need to go to God and question God. You need to go to God and tell God, and tell him that, God, I'm confused. Tell him that, God, I'm angry. Tell him that, God, I'm disappointed. Tell him that, God, I'm hurt. It's okay to be hurt. It's okay to go to God with, you know, even if you can't pray and you're just crying, it's okay. And one thing that I had to realize is, it is okay to be weak. It is okay to not know what to do. It is okay to, you know, to say, I do not know. One thing that my aunt told me was like, listen, you don't have to always understand. You don't always have to be to be spiritually intact. Sometimes you have to go to those that you are walking with to draw strength from them and say, listen, my faith is weak, pray with me. My faith is weak, I do not know what to do right now. And that's exactly what was happening, because healing is a long journey. Healing is a long process. It is a long process, and you have to be patient with yourself, and you have to be kind with yourself, and you need to understand that it's okay. It's okay to not feel okay. You don't have to have it all figured out. So this is just to, so this video is mainly just to tell you guys that, and also bring it that many people now are going through depression, anxiety, and they have to face things that, you know, that they haven't, that they actually put aside for the longest time, because now you are forced to face your problems hardcore. You can't run away from your mind. And this time is breaking people. So I want you to know that it's okay to feel the way that you're feeling. It's okay to feel like to feel overwhelmed. It's okay to feel like you've been trying and nothing is happening and you are a failure. It's okay to feel like that. I know people are like, no, you're not a failure, blah, 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 blah. But guess what? We all feel like that at some point. So it's okay to run wild, to run free, and also do things that make you happy. This is the only time that you can do things to make you happy. Maybe it's the time that you need to be selfish about you. Be selfish about your time. In this process, I found myself having not to answer to certain people's calls because I felt like it's not what I need at the moment. This call will make me to take a few steps back. And right now, it took me a long journey for me to get to where I am. And for you to take me back, it ain't gonna happen. So now I need to be selfish in order for me to stay here or move forward. So guys, I pray for you all that you find healing in whatever that you might be going through, in whatever thing that you are going through, or you don't have hope anymore, or you are scared. It's okay. But I pray that you look past your fears, because God is a God that is a healer. Because the word says we must not fear because he is with us. The fact that God says when you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, you will fear no evil. It meant that there was going to be a point in your life where you walk through the shadow of death. There's going to be a point in your life where you walk in a place where you feel dry. You feel empty. There is going to be that point in your life. But God says, I will be with you. It's difficult to seek God and to know God and to believe in God's word when you're going through the most. But that is the only thing that will give you sanity. It's the only thing that will give you sanity. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will be back again on Sunday, 4 p.m. Oh my goodness, my eyes. Gosh, that was deep. Okay, so I'll be back again on Sunday, 4 p.m. with something else. Second word for the day is faith, 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 faith. So drop that in the